Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live demonstration. In this segment, I'll show you how user interactions on our instrumented web applications will generate telemetry data that will be collected by our telemetry backend. So first, I'll switch to our front-end applications. So let's open them appropriately. Let's see, the React is running over here, so that's the React, and Angular is on 4200. So as you can see, I already have a couple of users in my database. Let's start by doing some actions on these front ends to see what will happen. You should know that each of these actions will trigger the front end user experience agent collection of telemetry spans that will capture important details such as the interaction events, the user session and visit IDs, and other application metadata. And on the back-end side, as REST API calls are made, our test automation agent will automatically create spans that record method execution details. So let's start by doing some interactions. I'll add another user, for instance, from the Angular front end. Let's say John Smith. So that's John Smith. Let's refresh users. And let's say I want to edit John Doe and I want to make him inactive. Let's refresh users. That's great. And let's say in the React, I'm going to basically add a new pet as we currently have no pets. So let's call our pet Rex. It's a dog. And let's say that Rex is a German Shepherd. I'm not going to provide any photos. I'm just going to say that this dog is available. I'll create the pet and we'll refresh the pet. Let's add one more thing. Let's say I'll add orders. So I'll add new order. I'll select Rex and let's add a date. Let's say 12 and 12:36 p.m. Seems good. I'll select the status. Let's say processing complete. I'll create the order and we can see the orders have been created appropriately. Now, if we refresh here, we'll see the pets. If we refresh here, we'll see the orders. Let's finalize this by adding a final pet. Let's say kitten, which is a cat. A Persian cat, and pending. Create the pet, refresh, and we can see kittens over here. So now that we've simulated multiple interactions with our front end, let's examine the telemetry data in Jaeger and see what it actually looks like. So let's open Jaeger. And as you can see, our telemetry backend has managed to collect telemetry from all three applications, the Spring Boot backend and both front ends. So let's examine the telemetry from the front end traces. Let's look at Angular, for instance, and we're going to examine the last 100 traces for the last hour. And as you can see, we have a trace timeline over here. And we can also see an overview of all of the different traces that were generated for all of the different interactions. So let's click on, for instance, on this trace and let's examine its information in details. So as you can see, we have some key attributes like the service name, obviously, and we also have the type of event, which is submit over here. And over here, and we can also see user, session, and visit ID over here, along with other application metadata, which will actually help us in understanding the user experience. So this detailed user interaction data allows us to identify navigation graph and bottlenecks, slow interactions, or unexpected behavior that could actually impact user experience. And we can see the same thing, for instance, in the React traces as well. So let's take a look. Let's look at the focus out over here, and we can similarly see similar attributes as we saw for the other interaction. So now let's move on to the backend traces. So if we take a look at the backend traces, we can similarly see the trace timeline where each span actually corresponds to a REST API calls. And if we open, for instance, the get pets over here, you're going to see that we collect key attributes like the arguments that were passed. So here the get pets doesn't have any argument. We see the class name, we see the name of the method, and we can actually see the obtained results. So we can see that the get pets managed to give us these results in return. And we can also see other information, obviously, at the level of the process itself that's related to the instrumentation agent. If we examine another trace, for instance, let's say another REST API call, we can see add pet, for instance, over here. And in add pet, you can see that we have actual arguments that are provided as it is captured by the trace of this REST API call. Now you can see from this detailed data from these REST endpoints that we can actually use these data for automating the generation of unit tests, for monitoring API performance, and for debugging issues in real time. So thank you for watching this demo with me. In the next video, I'll show you how our approach can actually integrate with other telemetry backends as well, not just Jaeger, namely by showing it over Zipkin. So see you then.